Well, hello again. This is Mr. Tom here with another video for you. It's 1 week later. Hair is 1 week longer. I'm actually filming from home today. You can see behind me I've got my workspace set up. It's a writing desk that I just converted into a workbench because I like to do some small woodworking projects and things like that in my spare time. But I also thought it'd be a good spot to do today's art and craft about the solar system. So we're going to learn about the solar system and all of our planets in it. All 8 of them, to be exact. Some of you, like me, maybe learn 9. We'll actually get to that. And there are different kinds of planets within our solar system. So what I did was I actually brought some pictures to show you. You might know some of the planets, you might even know all of them. But I'm going to show you these pictures just so you can see what they look like. And then after that, I'm going to show you how you can draw your own planet. All right, let's get started. All right, let's get started with our picture tour of the solar system. Our first stop, the sun. Now, the sun is not a planet. The sun is what we call a star. So if you've ever been outside at night on a clear night and you looked up at the sky and you see those little points of light up there, those are stars that you're seeing, and the sun is one of those. There are different sizes of stars. They can even be different colors, but basically a star is, well, just kind of think of it as a big ball of hot glowing gas. So what happens is you have a force called gravity. It's just kind of pulling in all that gas really, really tight, and it's coming from all different directions. So that's why stars and even planets for that matter, they look like spheres because gravity is pushing in from all different directions. Now, we're going to start with planets. And remember I told you there are different kinds of planets? In our solar system, we have 4 rocky planets or terrestrial planets. Now, what does that mean? Well, rocky planet, kind of what it sounds like. It has a surface that's, well, rocky. It has a hard surface. And the first one of those planets, and the first planet from the sun, see if you can guess it as we go along, Mercury. Mercury is the closest to the sun. It's also our smallest planet. It's the first of those terrestrial planets. Next we have, see if you can guess it, Venus. Now, Venus is sometimes called the Earth's sister planet, and that's because it's about the same size. That's a little smaller. So it's the second planet from the sun, second of those terrestrial planets. Next up we have, of course, a very special planet. You're sitting on it right now. The Earth. And then finally, as our last rocky planet, 4th from the sun, the red planet, Mars. Now we're getting into what are called the gas giants, and there are 4 of those. We have the 5th from the sun and the largest planet in the solar system, Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is so big, and it has this spot here. It's called the Great Red Spot. That's so big that the entire planet Earth can fit inside this. Now, what the Great Red Spot is, it's basically like a really big storm, kind of like a really big hurricane. Next planet, maybe one of the most recognizable objects in all of astronomy, Saturn. Saturn is the 6th planet from the sun. It's the second of our gas giants. Now, Saturn, as you can tell, has this ring. Now, we used to think it was, well, maybe just one big ring that was around Saturn, but it turned out that as we were able to send a spacecraft over there, we can get closer and closer images. Turns out it actually has lots and lots of rings. But this is a lot of people's favorite planet just because of those rings. Now, next we have the 7th planet from the sun, Uranus. See these little white lines here? Those are actually rings. They're very, very small and faint. So a lot of pictures show that Saturn is the only planet with rings. And the last planet, the 8th planet from the Sun, Neptune. Now, Neptune also has a big storm on it. Jupiter, remember, had the great red spot. Neptune has the great dark spot. Kind of a really dark blue there. Now, if you've seen some of my other videos before, you might know that my favorite color is blue, so this happens to be my favorite planet. All right, now, some of you might have learned about Pluto. Maybe some of you learned that Pluto was a planet. It is actually no longer considered a planet for a few reasons, but the big reason is that Pluto has a lot of other stuff kind of in its orbit. So an orbit is kind of thinking of it as like a line or a circle that the planet paths around the sun. And for a true planet to be called a planet, there can't be any other little objects within that same orbit. Okay, but Pluto actually has other stuff kind of in its orbit. So it can't really be considered a true planet. It's what's called a dwarf planet, though, because it is kind of like a planet. It was back in, let's see, 2006 when they said, nope, Pluto's not a planet. So that was a little while ago, but, you know, some of you may have learned that Pluto was a planet. I remember when I was in school, I learned Pluto was a planet. Fun fact, Pluto was discovered by a person in Kansas back in 1930. All right, now, let me show you how to draw your own planet. Okay, now there's a coloring sheet attached to the guide we wrote for you. You can print that out if you like, or you can just take any piece of paper and you can draw your own planet. So basically, I just traced a circle and decide what kind of planet you want yours to be. Do you want it to be one of those rocky terrestrial planets? Do you want it to be a gas giant? I'm going to make mine a rocky planet. I think I like those. So, and this, you know, is just all up to your imagination. You can make it look however you like. But if it's a rocky planet, then that could be a planet that has, well, rocks and water. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw, you know, imagine you were an astronaut and you were out looking from space down on this planet, what it would look like. It might look something like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and color this in. This is the land part of it. Maybe you have an island, color that in. Maybe some more land over here. All right. And do you want your planet to have water on it? If so, you go ahead and color in your water. Now, maybe you want your planet to be really, really warm. So warm that it doesn't even have ice on it anywhere. And so you can color in water all the way up to the top. Okay. But if it's going to be like the Earth, that has water, but it has two ends of the planet that are really cold, you know, it's probably going to have some ice on either end. But again, you can make your planet whatever you like. So this is just how I'm making my planet. It's a very warm place. Let's say very tropical. All right. There you go. There's my planet. Now, also name your planet. What do you want to name your planet? I'm going to name mine after my cat, who I thought would actually come into the video. It turns out he hasn't. He's lounging on my couch over there. But I'm going to name my planet Vincent. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed that little picture tour of the solar system, and have fun drawing your own planet.